Hi everyone, trust you all are doing well. So I'm currently logged in as an admin user. So what I want to do is I want to basically get all our writers basically from the database to display all the writers right here, right? And the next thing that I want to do as well, I want to update the site navigation. So basically, if the user is not an admin user or super admin, they mustn't see the users. All right, they mustn't see the writers, they mustn't see the tags, they must only see the post. So in this case, the all writers will only see the post right there and obviously their profile. All right, so this is what we're going to do in this one. So this might be a shorter lesson. So let's get started. Right, so in our code editor, if we go to app, HTTP controllers, and the admin, you will see we have a dashboard controller, post controller, tag controller, and user controller. The next one that I want to add is a writer controller. Right, so open up our terminal. So let's quickly create it. So PHP artisan make controller. Right, and I'm going to leave this one as not as invocable controller. I'm only going to leave it actually as a normal controller. So admin and slash writer controller. Right, so I created the controller. Let's quickly go there. So as you can see, we've got a new controller right here. Now I'm just going to return an index view. So return view. And this will be under admin dot writers dot index. Okay. So we're obviously going to add a create. So I need to create a method quickly. All right, so we've got an index view method right there. We're obviously going to add one as soon as in order for us to actually create writers. So the admin user can create a writer and stuff like that. Okay, but I want to add this to authorize. Right, I just want to make sure, bring in the user policy right here, clause, and this needs to be super admin. User clause like this. Right, I just want to make sure that only the super admins, and the super admins are basically the admin user and super admin right there. Okay. So I want to pass in all the users. Okay, so all the writers like this. Okay, the writers, I'm going to get that from the users. I'm going to get that from the user model. Okay, where we're going to have a where clause. Okay, where the type. Okay, let me just go and show you where this is. So let's just open our user model for someone might be new. In our user, let's actually open our database migration. Users migration. All right, in here you will see we have a type. Okay, that type. So let's just open our user model again. So the type of 1 will be a default user, 2 will be a moderator, but we want a writer. Okay, this one right here. Okay, so we want that to equal. Right, so let's just do this. So where the user is a writer, like that. And then we're just going to paginate because I don't know how many authors the application might have. So I want to paginate 5, and that's it. So now we pass the writers basically to the front end, but we haven't created the view yet. So let's quickly do that. So admin writers.index. So let's go to resources, views under admins. We're going to create a new folder. We're going to call this one writer. Inside that, we're going to create a new file. We're going to call this one index.blade.php. All right. So now we got our writers. Actually, did I? Right. I just want to make sure I plural writers. Okay. So that we can actually get to that view. Let me just save that. So admin, writers, and inside that, the index right there. Right, so as you can see, it highlights it. So that view right there, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the users index, right, this one right here, and we're just going to copy all of that and paste them inside our writer.index. Let's go there. And then if we want to, we can just change this to be the users like this, okay? so that we don't even have to change anything on the inside right here, like that. Okay, so, or what we could do is, instead of actually going to that view, we can actually go to the users view like this, the users.index, then we pass that, but then we use the same view, right? Then we use the same view, then we don't need a different view. But if you would like to have different information that you want to display for your writers, I will use a different view, right? In my case, I'm just going to do that as writers. This, right, writers.index. So that view, I just basically copied everything over. So now what I need to do, I need to create a route for this writers basically. Okay, so let's just open up our admin routes. This one right here. So as you can see, this is basically our users. I just want another one for our writers like this. Okay, so you can obviously have it in the same controller. Okay, but I'm going to make a separate write group for that because I will need to do other stuff as well. Right, so this one will just change to writers like this, and this will basically be prefixed with writers as writers, and so it will be admin writers.index for the route name, okay, or for the URL it will be admin writers. All right, so this needs to be a different controller, so writer controller. So I just need to make sure I import that at the top as well. So as you can see, I got it in there. All right, so the next thing I need to do is I need to add this route, admin writers.index, basically in our navigation. Okay, so under resources views, let's go to layouts, admin layout, and we go to this one right here. So this is basically our users. This one is our writers. Okay, so I will just change the writers to be, just copy this, admin.writers.index. Okay, so now we got that all done. So let's quickly go to the view and see if we can see it. All right, so as you can see in the view, we got Michelle Jones, and they're the only writer right here. I will just obviously remove the status because we don't need to worry about those things. Okay, so let me do that. And so I can just remove this from this view, just make sure I'm in the right one, and the subscription, so we don't need to load unnecessary things in there. Okay, so we got that all done. Okay, so we got that all set up. Right, so the other thing as well is we don't need to check, we only need to check if it's an admin, but we don't even need to do that as well. We can actually delete the rest of the stuff. I'm just going to leave the two like that. Okay, and the join date, and that's it. Right, the other thing that I want to do, I want to restrict the users. This one, the post. I actually want to restrict the writers.index, the users.index, and the tags.index for this if the person is basically a writer. So let's do that quickly. Right, so in our site navigation, I want to hide the users. I want to hide the writers. I'm going to leave the post because we have a writer conditional right there. And I want to do it for the tags as well. So how can we do that? Right, so what I will do in this case, I will do add unless writer like this, right, and then we're going to add unless, basically, yeah. So what this will do is it will basically check if the user is not a writer, they will display this. If they are a writer, they will not display this. So this is basically what this does right here. So and unless. Right, so we add the end unless writer and end unless right there. And that will check if the user is a writer, they will not see this. If they're not a writer, they will see this. And then for the tag as well. Okay, so I'm currently logged in as an admin user. As you can see, I can see all of those links right there. But let's quickly log in as a writer. Right, so as you can see, I'm currently logged in as Michelle Jones, the writer. As you can see, all the other links have been removed. Right, quite nice. Right, so if you guys have any questions, feedback, or suggestions, please leave it for me in the comment section. And if you like the video, please give it a like. And if you don't, please give it for me a dislike. And I really appreciate it. And thank you guys, and see you in the next one. Adios.